Welcome back, friend. Today we're going to cover Near Social. This video is part 1, the blockchain operating system. A lot of people confuse blockchain operating system with just a decentralized front end. It is not that. They also confuse it with just Near Social. It is also not that. As the name implies, the blockchain operating system is actually the entire Near ecosystem. Today we're going to start with a very easy to understand, very easy to grasp, very hands-on way to start unpacking what you can do on Near today as a user, and in turn we're going to start to tease what you can do today as a builder as well. Also, perfect timing, because as you may have heard, there are some issues with Twitter. I don't know, I am not one to bet against Elon, but there is certainly a trend that has been going on for months around people looking for alternatives. Now here there are two very distinct camps. I should say 3, because we're the third one that actually works. First, clones. You basically take the same product and you replicate it in very much the same way, except the political leadership at the time or the competence of management. But it's not really that different when it comes to technology or the value proposition for the user. Second, fake Web3 applications. I recently saw someone with the audacity to claim that they don't have any limits in response to Twitter rate limiting some users, when in reality, their platform is actually closed from new users joining. I've been trying to join for months. Now, the third category is where things get really interesting, because not only do we have a platform that kind of works and it removes some of the political elements, and we'll get to that in a minute, also it opens up a ton of new possibilities just by virtue of being on a different tech stack. By it being decentralized, now users are in control of their data. Now there is much more dynamisms around who can build what. And let's just jump in so you can see what I mean. All right, so we are back. Right now we are on the near.org website. This is the main website for the Near protocol, the operating system for an open web. You can scroll, you can learn more about everything. But there's something very different, something very special that this website has from other Web3 protocols. Namely, the entire website is itself on the blockchain. So this would be the aspect of the front end being on the blockchain and that being the BOS that people may get confused. Let's look at the top right corner. You can either sign in or create an account. We'll go through the account creation process in just 1 minute. I'm just going to switch browsers. This is how it looks once you've logged in. On the top right, there's my account. Send me some money if you want. But also, it's just amazing that the onboarding flow from the landing page where you go to get the documentation or to learn about Near to being inside a social network of people building on Near is mind-blowing. So we'll just have a really quick overview and then start digging deeper. It looks a little bit like old day MySpace. It's got 3 or 4 very basic functionality. Functionality should be very similar to anyone that has ever used a social network. What is really cool is that this is all happening on chain. Every single one of these interactions, even me poking Peter right now, is a transaction on the blockchain. There's 2 things that people mention when they see all these transactions going on the blockchain. The first one is, do I have to pay for every interaction? Do I have to pay to follow someone? Do I have to pay to unfollow someone? Their content must be truly shit for me to pay to unfollow someone. Technically, yes, you're paying for data being stored on chain. I have frequently been pushing over 50, close to 100 transactions per day, and I'm yet to burn 1 full Near. So it's very cheap, very affordable, but I can see how it would be a barrier of access for a lot of people. And this is where meta transactions and Fast Auth enter the conversation. If you've seen my previous videos, you probably know that the Near protocol has continued to upgrade and just blow everyone's mind along the way. And right now, there are functionalities available to developers, such as the ability to pre-approve transactions so that just by clicking a button, it automatically goes through. So for instance, I'm just going to have a bunch of stuff here. These are all transactions going on in the blockchain. But you don't have to believe me. We can actually go to the blockchain and confirm that the transactions have been going through. I have the Learn Near Club Near Watcher bot on my Telegram, and we can see that every time that I do something, it records the transaction on the blockchain, and you could actually go and check on the blockchain the actual transaction. And at this stage, you may be thinking that maybe the Near Social is cool, but a little bit underwhelming, maybe not that sophisticated. That this is cool if you're a geek. It doesn't really feel much different from other social media. But this is where you would be wrong. So near social is not really about social media. Near social is what they call a discovery layer. And that's why seeing it in the context of Web3 and seeing it in the context of a blockchain operating system, there's a few things that intertwine in ways that may not be obvious at first, but this tweet from Sir Ilya might start giving us a hint. It is inevitable that open social graph will take over closed ones, because all open ones are trivially composable with each other and other apps. The question is only in the UX and the initial growth engine. Hashtag BOS can provide both. So what is he talking about? The open social graph would be near social or the blockchain operating system, namely everything is on the blockchain so that anyone can pull that information and interact with it. Closed social ones would be ones like Twitter's or really any Web2 social media, where a company owns all that data and they can derive insane amounts of value from that privately held data. This has become very obvious in recent times with ChatGPT and the race for LLMs to aggregate as much information as possible. There is an epic shit fight going on at Reddit because there's a very valuable trove of data there that is being scraped, and now Reddit wants some money, but then the users also want money, and there's just... Oh, by the way, Ilya has also tweeted about this. People of Reddit realized that they don't own all the data they put in and come to near social. They realized that they could have made per community UI customizing rich experiences one day. And this really hints at the element of composability, which we'll touch in just 1 minute, but there's something that I need to get off my chest. Let's not forget for a minute that Ilya is one of the most cited people in machine learning and TensorFlow. He co-wrote coming from Google. The basis for ChatGPT, Ilya was instrumental for too. So when he talks about a social graph and an open social graph and the value of composability, I would pay attention. So what does he mean by composability and an open graph? The easiest way to think about it, which is very easy to grasp in the hypotheticals, is can you imagine the amount of startups and companies and applications and widgets that could have been built if anyone had access to the troves of data that Facebook has? And that gives us the ability to see both the potential of the social graph, like for any one individual, you have an infinite number of data points. And then as you start to compare those data points between two individuals, there's just very rich insights that just compound in ways in which Facebook has basically only done for selling us advertising and for selling elections. But if we all had access to that information, the possibilities are limitless. And this is where the blockchain operating system really stands out. Even though I do truly believe that right now it'd be amazing for everyone to come, sign up, follow each other, and poke each other. Who knows? Maybe we can make 1 billion transactions just poking each other. The reality is, the blockchain operating system is a platform for developing, discovering, and enjoying very rich transactions. If you go to the Discover side, it's a little bit raw at the moment, but if you go to the Discover side, you can see that there are components which are literally things or raw code that can be pulled into an application. So you can create an application very fast simply by pulling in all these different components. And then there are ready-made applications. I would define these as the user can go end to end and derive value, but these themselves can also be hacked. I would encourage everyone to come have a look at the applications. There are some notable ones, for instance, Near Horizon. The Near Accelerator is itself an entire application within Near Social, or the blockchain operating system. And the really cool thing is that if you come to Near Horizon and you really like the functionality that you see here, I'll do a separate video on Near Horizon specifically, you can actually look at the source code and fork it to create your own application that has similar functionality or a new application that built on top of this functionality. There is a sandbox. Everything that you need is right here. Some of the other applications I would recommend checking out would be the Developer Hub. All the developer governance is all happening on chain, and you can come see all the posts, all the activity, all the funding. But my favorite, which is probably the best for beginners, would be the BOS Influencers app. The reason why I really like this one, about recommended for everyone new, would be because it shows you all the users on the blockchain operating system or Near Social ranked by the number of followers. We can use these as a proxy for people that are very prominent in the ecosystem, very active. They may share some wisdom. That could be a very good starting point of people to follow to get you started, to start fitting your timeline, to start fitting your social graph. For instance, we've got Ilya at number 2, Learn Near Club, the creator of the Telegram bot that I showed, as number 1. Eugene the Dream, I don't even want to say all the things that he has developed, but it's like a lot of... You've Sir Blaze from the NDC, and oh, hey, who's that sexy fox with the yellow background? Oh shit, that's me! That's right, number 5 on the BOS. Can we get me to number 1? Oh yeah. We've got Vadim, one of the top validators, legendary star pause. This is Alex Kioki, product at Pagoda. This is just a very legendary list of people that if you give them a follow, you're going to be off to a very strong start. So why does Ilya say that open social graphs will eventually win? Because we're sitting on a platform and a machine that has unlimited growth potential, because we're no longer limited by the political beliefs of the people leading a private company. We're not even limited by the product people and their backlog and their timeline and what they think that we need. Right now, anyone can jump in here and literally code new components that anyone can use, that borrows code. Like, this has the potential to grow in such a rich and fast way that it's mind-blowing. To give you an example, Ilya has also tweeted a beautiful tweet from Web3 Plug, I'd say by far my favorite people in the ecosystem right now. He and probably ChatGPT are shipping code like there is no tomorrow. Like, most of the contents that I've seen on your social that I love are from him or his team. So here is a thread on some of the examples of features that anyone could technically go and build right now that would keep adding functionality to the Near Social and the blockchain operating system that we just saw. The first two would be aimed at social media managers, multi-sig brand accounts and delegated posting, allowing for managers to do permissions, social features based on roles, and also scheduling post. Third, last seen or activity tracker, ability to easily see when was the last time a profile interacted on chain. This one's kind of savage, and it just hints at all the information that is out there, including how much Near you have, whether you've been liquidated. I am personally a fan of the social graph, but also I am also very quickly a privacy advocate, and I can see how something like Calimero starts to become very relevant by being able to have privacy combined with these social graphs. Third, a chat integration with something like chatme.page. Third, on-chain referral links powered by KeyPalm with automatic follow. This is really cool because the video that I posted a few days ago had a referral link for I Am Human, and embedded in that flow was the claim of an NFT. There's also some flows where you can join a DAO, and it's just amazing how much flexibility KeyPalm creates for builders to create super smooth onboarding and user experiences. So if I refer someone, they would automatically follow me. First, second, and third degree connections like LinkedIn, see how far a person is from a graph, or filter organization. Thread multi-post, this would be getting closer to the Twitter functionality. Trending hashtag posts, recommended people, post permissioning. These are all features that, I guess the good side is that they've been validated, because these are all the features that we are used to having. Yet it's the early days of Near Social, so somebody has to build them. At the moment, it's pretty wild that there's so few of us that there is one global timeline, and over time, as we can see with those feeds, this is likely to get more and more custom to each user. If you're watching these and you know how to code and some of those features make sense to you, come check out the sandbox and the documentation. And if you build something meaningful, I believe there is funding available through the Developer Hub. Video is getting a little bit long, so I'll create a separate video covering how to join using fast authentication. But that's going to be a pretty short video because it is very smooth and simple. Now, one cheeky little tip, which I should have mentioned before. If you joined Near Social or the blockchain operating system using fast authentication, namely with your email, and I believe through your mobile phone, transactions are free. Near Social is the first application to leverage meta transactions, where the developer pays for the transaction on behalf of the user. This is insanely cool because that means that you can onboard anyone right now, today, and without having to worry about having any Near in their wallet. they can start liking, poking, and following. Friends, if you see this video, make sure that you like, follow, poke me, and do everything else on Near Social and elsewhere. And if you already have an existing Near account and you want to get really rowdy with the pokes, but you're worried about money, send me a message, leave a comment, post on Near Social and tag me, and I'll send you some Near. That's it from me, friends. Onwards and upwards.